All right, welcome back, everyone. We are going to talk about another Hoback knife today. This is the Hoback Kwaiback, and this is a UHEP version, which stands for his ultra high-end production. So he makes some production ones, he makes ultra high-end production and full customs. This is kind of bridges the gap between production and full custom. Is it a mid-tech? Is it kind of the same thing? I don't know. And let's not even get into that. I think the term mid-tech and high-end production and custom, there's a big blurred line there as to what is a mid-tech and what is a custom. So let's not even get into that. Let's just talk about this, which they classify as the UHEP. Okay, this is the Kwaiback. This is the Mark IV. On their ultra high-end productions, what I understand it to mean is that Jake actually does the final finishing and stuff on the blade. So he has his hand touching all of the UHEP versions. So that's kind of cool. So as I've talked about before, they come in a cool box, has some information about the knife, and a cool cutout with the knife that fits in very snugly, yet not too snugly that you can't get it out easily. And as I've seen on many knives, Tor in particular, a fixed blade that I got, I couldn't get the knife out of the packaging. The foam was so tight. Ultimately, yes, I did get it out, but it took some effort. I almost needed to get another knife to pry it out. It was, they need to fix that. Anyway, back to Hoback. This was lent in from Cliff up in Alaska. This is the last knife I have of his current shipment, but I understand there is another box on its way to me, so I can get this one shipped out and they will pass in the mail, which is kind of cool. So thank you for the support, Cliff. I do greatly appreciate that. If anybody else has anything they would like to loan in, I do appreciate that very, very much. And my email is in the description below, so reach out. And if you have questions, you can reach out on my email as well. So this is not my favorite style or shape of a knife. And I've said that for a long time. I've shown other Kwaibacks, and I don't love the shape and the style. I appreciate it very much. It has a nice finger control you can choke up on. The jimping is really nice. This particular version, let's zoom in, has a very cool stonewash blade and kind of a rock grind pattern on the spine and throughout the entire scale, or both scales actually. But so that I very much love. I love the kind of the rock pattern texture. And they carry it through the clip, which I think is awesome. There's also some milling here on the lock bar cutout, which I like that. I think that just adds a little something to it. It's a little attention to detail that I appreciate. I also appreciate that there's no branding, there's no nothing on the blade. Doesn't tell you the blade steel, nothing. I like that very much. And the rock chip pattern is here in the finger choil also, which is, again, just a very cool little attention to detail. It runs great. It does have a steel lock bar insert and the patented Hoback rolling detent system. So on that detent ball, I don't know if we're going to be able to really see it or not. Let me see if I can get, oh, there you go. So that detent ball is a bearing that moves. It rotates in that collar, so you can infinitely adjust. So you've got these two screws here, which would remove the steel lock bar insert, so you could replace it. Although, leave me a comment. Has anybody ever needed to replace their steel lock bar insert on any knife of any maker at any time? Yeah, it's replaceable. Do you need to replace it? I mean, I get it. You can't really weld it in, so maybe it's not necessarily intended to be replaceable other than it's bolted onto the titanium. I'm not sure how else you would really attach it, so maybe that's that, but I've seen some videos where people talk about its replaceable steel lock bar insert. And has anybody ever used a knife enough to need to replace it? That's the question. Leave it down below. So anyway, those two are for the steel lock bar. This other hole or Allen is for the adjustable rolling detent. So you can turn that hex head in or out, which will move the detent ball towards the blade or away. And you can adjust and tune to your own personal style of detent. Some people like it softer. Some people like it harder. Some people like it finger-breakingly hard. This is like a medium to me. And you can adjust that, very similar to what Holt Spectre does and the Holt Haptic. I don't know about their new model, the Morpheus? Don't remember exactly what it's called. I don't know if that'll have an adjustable detent or not, but the other two models do have it. So that part is cool. So you can get the exact action and feel that you want. Okay. It is running on bearings, and we'll go into the specs. 5 1/4 inches closed, 9 inches overall, 3.69 inch blade and cutting edge. CPM 20 CV on this particular model. He does different steels. You know, it just depends on the run and the whatnot, but he does use several different types of steels in his constructions. The blade thickness is 0.178. Overall thickness is 0.578. And this one comes in at 5.6 ounces. So in comparison, your D-cell battery is 5 ounces. So it's about a 1/2 inch heavier than your D-cell battery. So just as a point of reference. Now, one thing I really do like about this is the blade is totally hidden when it's closed. So on most other knives, the blade is protruding from the handle in some shape or form, right? The blade is typically protruding from the handle at some, to some degree. That's the word I was looking for. The Kwaiback, no. It can hide in your pocket. It makes it just a slimmer knife in your pocket, really is all it does. Because when it's in your hand, the blade is always out of the way. So it's going to feel the same in your hand either way, but it does allow you to be a little bit smaller in a pocket. The other one that does that is the Shark Nivco Ryu. Again, its whole blade is hidden in the scales. There is nothing protruding. And again, it's very slim in your pocket. So very similar in that design, but that's about it. Other than, they're kind of similar because it is just a rectangular scale with a little angle towards the end. This is a Tonto. This is a trailing Tonto, I think they call it. So there's some similarities there, most of which, or the main difference or similarity is the fact that the blade completely disappears into the handle scales while it is closed. So very cool knife. Let's do a couple of quick size comparisons since we rambled a little bit on this one. With the Sharpie and the number 2 pencil, the D-cell battery, the AA battery, the Spider Codelica, and how about the custom Hellraiser from Red Horse Knife Works, which is the same size as the production Hellraiser, other than this one has a backspacer. And I will do a video. I still have not done my video on my brand new to me custom Hellraiser because I'm still getting acquainted with it. So after Thanksgiving, I will be filming that video and getting it up. So there you go, guys. The Hoback Kwaiback from Hoback Knives. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have yourselves a fantastic day. Thank you, Cliff, again, for loaning this in. Have a great day, everyone.